station of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Logan Forsythe and the Rays won last night. X-Ray, Edwin Jackson on the mound tonight for San Diego, and Will Myers, the former Tampa Bay Ray, back against his former teammates. In last night's 8-2 Tampa Bay win, Kevin Kiermaier, 3 hits, a 3-run homer, and a couple of stolen bases. And for the Padres, Jan Solarte, he's had the one loud bat for the Padres on the road trip, a home run, number 13, last night against Tampa Bay. And we welcome you to Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg, Florida, with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. Pleased you're with it. The middle game of the 3-game series. The Padres looking for a win. They'd like to get a couple of wins here, build some momentum going home.
You mentioned a good word, momentum, and the guy on the hill today for the San Diego Padres is Edwin Jackson. I think he's built a lot of momentum. I think he's an iron horse. He's got a Gumby arm, former Tampa Bay Ray, and some good things have happened here when he was in a Rays uniform and when he was in a Diamondback uniform. But I think this was a good acquisition by the San Diego Padres, Dick.
It was a terrific acquisition. He's 3-1, only allowed 2 hits, no runs his last outing.
And very few walks for a guy who's been effectively wild. He's been around the strike zone. Darren Ballsy said he's using all of his pitches, anytime, anywhere. He's just attacking the zone.
Here is that effort against Pittsburgh by Edwin Jackson. He picks up another Padre win.
You know, the one thing that worked that outing, Dick, was the breaking ball down to the zone. He got some ground balls, and hey, the strikeout is still there. 95, 96 on the heater, and he'll put a wrinkle in one every once in a while. Very, very effective for the Padres.
Had 14 wins in that 2008 American League Championship year for Tampa Bay. Now, we arrive at the ballpark today, and you keep your ears open. You talk to the broadcasters, the press, and you go around, and everyone is raving about the pitcher we're going to see tonight, Blake Snell. He's only 23.
Yeah, and another left-hander. This is going to be a challenge for the San Diego Padres because they face some left-handers. Matz in New York, Smiley, and now tonight Snell. Why? Is this guy tough? Well, he works the fastball up in the zone. He's got 2 really good breaking balls, the good curveball and the really good slider, above average. Usually pitchers have one good one or the other, but the last start not so good. It'll be interesting to see how Snell reacts because this kid is very accountable. This guy's a self-evaluator. He's the type of kid that if he has a bad outing, in his next bullpen, he's going to say, what did I do wrong and how can I correct it? They really like the mindset of this young kid, too. He's going to be around for a long time.
Well, it'll be interesting. You got the veteran against the youngster. And speaking of the veteran, how about the memories? He comes back to Tropicana Park. The last time he was here and won the game, he pitched a no-hitter. How about that? 149-pitch no-hitter. And Julie Alexandria will go after that when we return.
We take you back to June 25th, 2010, when tonight's starter Edwin Jackson tosses a no-hitter for Arizona, 149 pitches, allowing 8 walks, leading the Diamondbacks to a 1-0 victory against his former team, the Tampa Bay Rays. Welcome back, everyone, to Tampa Bay, a place that has very fond memories for Edwin Jackson. And he earlier was able to recount some of those memories for us. Take a listen.
I mean, I remember walking the bases loaded. The bullpen was a frantic all game. You know, somebody warming up every inning that I'm looking down, I hear the glove popping, and I'm just like, okay. But honestly, my thought was just make it through every inning. I didn't realize I had a no-hitter going into probably like the 6th. I was just amazed that I was able to get out of some crazy jams nevertheless. But, you know, you just take the approach later in the game that, you know, I took the 9th inning like, hey, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. And I jumped on the mound and went for it.
About that no-hitter, Edwin Jackson said it was one of the craziest games, if not the craziest game he has ever pitched in. Coming up, the sweet smell of success. We'll see what that's about. The Padres taking on the Rays when we return.
Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Buick, by Petco, where the healthy pets go, and by Pinnacle on the Park. Make your new home here. Visit pinnacleonthepark.com for details. About set to go. Quickly, let's check out Saquon Pick the Stick. You just hashtag I'm with, the last name of the broadcaster you want to join forces with. If they win, you could win too. One random winner selected nightly. Thanks to Solarte, this is the 4th night I've picked him. He's got me 9 points from 200. That's really high-rise company. And Mark takes Myers. Jankowski is Pomerantz's choice. The leader, Sweeney, likes Bethancourt, and Julie Alexandria goes with a left-handed hitting Dickerson.
You're knocking on heaven's door, there, Professor.
Get to 200. I don't feel like I'm so locked up in the basement.
To be part of the team. You're always part of the team.
Well,
but if it makes you feel better,
hey, those guys,
I'm rooting for you.
They haven't even talked to me. They haven't talked to me since the first week of the season. And we're underway. And talking with that baseball will be Blake Snell, #1 draft pick back in 2011. He's made it to the big leagues in a hurry. Alexei Ramirez starts things for the Padres. He homered in the first inning last night. Ramirez First time this season he's hit in the leadoff spot, of course, with the DH. Andy Green working with a different variety of players in his lineup scheme. Myers and then Solarte to follow here in the first inning. In the dirt, 1-2. Snell, great size, 6'4", 180. He's from Shorewood, Washington. It's his 12th start. Doesn't throw home runs, only 3 all season. And before the last outing, not a good one in Toronto, he'd gone 4 starts in a row, allowing a total of 5 earned runs. That ball ripped up the middle and a base hit for Ramirez. Maybe that's where he'd like to hit, up top of the order. Hit second last night and homered. Here's the Padres lineup, brought to you by Toyota. After Ramirez, Will Myers. Jan Solarte bats third. Christian Bethancourt in left field in the cleanup spot, followed by Alex Dickerson. He's the DH. Jabari Blash back in the lineup. A little sore last night and sat on the bench. Derek Norris will hit 7th in front of Adam Rosales. And Travis Jankowski, for the first time this season that I can recall, is hitting 9th.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a bad idea for Travis Jankowski. As this game goes on, you know, you're not always going to have your leadoff guy. There might be some innings where he leads off the game with the DH. There's no pitcher hitting, so we'll see how that one comes to fruition.
Matt Duffy, the shortstop for the Rays. I guess he spent a little too much time in the clubhouse dining room.
I think he broke his belt on that dive.
Oh,
those leather belts will snap sometimes right at the buckle. And
there's a photographer's dream. He's got the belt half off and the glove on his head. And Ramirez gets the Padres started with a base hit. Making the dive try at shortstop, Duffy, the former Giant. And the carpet unbuckled him. Will Myers hitting .276. .93 on the strike. On his return here to Tropicana Field, drew a lot of attention, one interview after another. And in the game last night, he singled his last time up, went 1 for 4. Padres had only 3 hits. In the dirt, 1-1.
You know, one thing I noticed already, Blake Snell going from the extreme third base side of that pitcher's plate, and I think against right-handers it works to his advantage. I mean, we talked about it quite a bit. You get that direct angle on the see where his foot is now. If you draw a direct line, look at where that goes on the inside part of the plate right there. He can get that direct line and get a little bit of an angle from the arm angle here down and away to the righties.
1-1 outside, 2-1. And how about the number on his back? Number 4 for a pitcher. That's very unusual. In fact, he's the first pitcher in Tampa Bay history to wear a single digit. Number 4.
Yeah, we saw that Stroman, Marcus Stroman, wears number 6 in Toronto. We saw that. It's Mike Leake wears number 8 for the Cardinals.
There you go. Old Lou Gehrig's number 4. High fly ball off first. Lots of room out there, and the catch is made by Logan Morrison. Good job leaning back to deny Myers. 1 away. That'll bring up Jan Solarte. And here's the scouting report on the lefty.
4-pitch pitcher, the fastball, curveball, changeup, slider, and once again, as I mentioned, in open, the curveball and slider, very, very good. Good sink at times. He holds runners well, and he's not an indoor cat because indoors he's got the higher ERA than on the road.
Solarte, the switch hitter, batting right-handed. His home run came late in the game, left-handed last night, and it was a monster deep inside the foul pole and right. Too little too late, however, as the Rays had built an 8-1 lead, and Solarte's home run made it 8-2 a final. Padres just haven't hit much on the road trip. 35 hits in 7 games on the road trip. That comes out at 5 hit average per game.
Well, hopefully it turns around, because here at home 3.82 ERA for Snell, on the road 2.42.
And meanwhile, Solarte has a good average, 14 games against the American League this year, and he's hit .370. Former American leaguer himself, of course, with the Yankees. One out. Ramirez at first. Outside corner. Last night off Kevin Jepson, the relief pitcher, and hit a no-doubter deep to right field down the 141-42 tunnel. Still rolling to Sarasota. Fouled off first, and here comes Morrison again to the dugout, and he can't make the play. Ball wasn't hit high enough. He got there, but he was checking that railing, and everything came together at one time, and he was intersecting trouble at the same time the ball came into his glove, and Solarte gets another chance.
Yeah, I think Morrison's upset with himself because he got plenty of glove on that. Just in that ball hit him on the thumb.
He's kind of shying away from the railing, and they're going to charge him with an error.
I think that's a tough error.
It is.
I'll be quite honest with you. I think that's tough. Hey, should it have been caught? Probably, but given the height of the ball and he wasn't camped under it and he had to deal with that railing over there, I just think that's a tough error.
I think the majority of the scorekeepers around the league would not have charged an error, so it is. 2 strikes now on Solarte. Outside and high.
Noticed already out of the stretch, Snell is using the slide step, not using a high leg kick. If you're short on this side, you got to be quick on this side with the arm to get up and out. And you could see his toe just barely touching that pitcher's plate there. The foot has to be in contact. Any part of the foot, not the whole foot, even your toe.
Got him. Padres struck out a lot last night going after pitches high out of the strike zone, and so it is with Solarte here. 2 out. And a look at the Rays defense brought to you by National University. Dickerson and Souza. There are 2 Dickersons in the game, and one is not the left fielder. The Padres. Dickerson is the DH tonight. Souza plays in right. Kiermaier, the brilliant center fielder. Longoria, Duffy, Franklin, Morrison around the horn, with Maley, the catcher, young catcher tonight. Bethancourt hitting in the cleanup spot. Ball 1. Here's his season numbers: 6 home runs. Playing left field tonight. Low and away.
You see the velocity on that last pitch, 93, and trying to go down and away with that 2-seam fastball. That's why you get that angle from that third base side.
His problem against Toronto is one rough outing. He lasted only an inning and 2/3, gave up 5 runs, was his wildness. He walked 4 men. Bluff throw by the catcher Maley.
That's why these Padre hitters got to be patient. The fastball command can be spotty.
Jim Reynolds calling balls and strikes with Field and Culbreth, the crew chief at first, Gonzalez at second, Buckner at third. – 3-0 to Bethancourt. Takes it in the heart of the plate. Now 3-1. He'll be swinging if he likes it. Fouled the catcher's glove, and then the throw gets away and rolls into right field. Ramirez late reacting. Now he scampers to second in time, and that throw gets away, but it's backed up by Longoria, and Ramirez will stay at second base. Hot potato Charged Maley with a throwing error, so 2 errors in this first inning.
Take advantage of the free outs. Snap throw. Oh, look, that looked like a catchable ball for Morrison. Oh, I mean, that was right in the breadbasket, it looked like. Or did it bounce off the back of Ramirez? Tough to tell. Everybody's diving all over the place. Let's check out this throw. Oh, that's a very catchable ball.
He tried to tag him before he caught the ball. I agree.
I think that's going to be E3 again.
So it is ruled E3. So 2 errors on first baseman Morrison in the first inning. So the walk to Bethancourt, first and second, to Alex Dickerson, the designated hitter. Not in the lineup last night. 3 straight left-handed pitchers going against the Padres on this trip. They finished in New York against Steven Matz, and then last night another southpaw, Drew Smiley. Look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Hey, just versus the lefty tonight. We've got Snell on the mound. We mentioned Matz and Smiley, but you know, overall the Padres this year 16 and 15 against left-handed starters. And Edwin Jackson keep flirting. Yeah, flirting with the no-no. He did it here as a Diamondback. Yeah, let's get one as a Padre. You never know.
Dickerson takes a strike. Ramirez with a single to second on the air by Morrison. Now the walk to Bethancourt. And the 20th pitch of this first inning now for Snell. Fouled off the catcher's mask. Against left-handed pitching, the Padres before the All-Star break very successful, but not much going here since the break. Slow curveball pulled fair right to Morrison. He handles that one cleanly. Inning comes to an end. The Padres a hit, a couple of errors for the Rays, no score.
Know what you're going to get. He's been around for a long time. Ed, short and then win the game for Edwin. Like that.
Swing and a miss. 4th strikeout for Jackson.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. And there it is. The veteran Jackson at 32, making his 6th start as a Padre. He's 3-1. And a look at the Rays lineup that he'll face, brought to you by Hyundai. Nick Franklin, Logan Forsythe was a late scratch, some back soreness and stiffness, so Franklin will lead it off. Then Kiermaier, Evan Longoria, their longtime star, and with the game today, he's played in as many games as anyone in Tampa Bay history. Then Miller, Duffy, Morrison, Souza in right field bat 7th, Corey Dickerson 8th, and then the young catcher Maley. Edwin Jackson. It's interesting. His pitching opponent Snell has worked in 11 games, 11 starts. Jackson has pitched for 11 teams.
The journeyman.
Fouled at the plate. 0-2.
Let's learn a little bit more about Ejax. Edwin Jackson. Well, I think this guy's a horse. He's going to give you innings. We know that. Along with that, he'll throw the cut fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Darren Ballsy says he pretty much throws everything. And good command lately from the veteran right-hander.
Pitched for Tampa Bay 3 years, 2006, 7, and 8. And in 2008, when they went to the World Series, he won 14 games. Franklin, a .275 hitter. Wouldn't go for the high fastball. And the official score has relented on his tough call against Morrison on the ball high, the fly ball off first base at the dugout of the Rays. He has now erased the error. No error on that play. So if you're keeping totals in an inning in the first inning for the Padres, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left. Two and 2 to Franklin. And that one hit him. So he hobbles out of the batter's box, and the leadoff man on for Tampa Bay. He's still feeling the pain.
There are some areas that shin guard just does not protect. You can't have the whole suit of armor on the one side, and that found a tough spot. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, the pinky side exposed. Call a tow truck.
Right, almost the point of the ankle. Huh? That protrusion down above your foot, and that ankle bone, if you will, right on target. So he's aboard for Kevin Kiermaier. Will Myers at first base tonight after playing right field last night. Said he enjoyed being out there. He played right field when he was a Tampa Bay Ray, but really loves the big bag and the first base activity. They're in the game every pitch. Kiermaier squares and takes it high. Had a terrific game last night. 2 singles and a 3-run homer. He also walked and stole a couple of bases.
You know, a lot of coaches these days will they got all types of information on the pitchers. And first base coach Rocco Baldelli. Tarek Brock does the same thing, getting a time from Edwin Jackson from the time he lifts that leg to home plate. He's got the stopwatch in his hand, and they'll relay that information and put that in the books to see how quick Edwin Jackson is to the plate.
1 ball, 1 strike. Kiermaier raising his average to .228 with his 3 hits last night. Missed 52 games this year with an injury, a broken bone in his hand. Ball gets through Norris on skipper, and that'll advance Franklin to second. So a hit batsman and a wild pitch, and Edwin Jackson has moved a man into scoring position with a couple of errant throws.
This looks like a breaking ball, short breaking ball, a little slider, and the glove just comes up a little bit too much and sneaks underneath.
Hit the front edge of home plate, and that misdirected the bounce as anticipated by Norris. It skidded low. So the Rays presented with a chance to score first.
Yes, he did.
Went around. 2-2. mentioned last night, Kiermaier, growing up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, is a big Cubs fan, and interestingly, his brother went to Purdue, and is now a member of the grounds crew in Chicago with the Cubs. How's that? 2-2. Low. After Kiermaier, third baseman Evan Longoria. And then Brad Miller. Longoria with 26 home runs and Miller with 22 of the punch in the middle of the lineup. Pops him up. Oh, that's way up into the roof. Norris doesn't see it. Here comes Myers down. And it lands over the screen anyway. It's just a nightmare when a ball's hit straight up into that white roof. It's very difficult to find it. And if you haven't played here all season, it's just 3 games for the Padres. There's not enough batting practice or fungo practice to train you to locate a ball up there. It's a treasure hunt. So the count full on Kiermaier. Pulls it foul. It was 5-1 in the 8th inning when Kiermaier came up with 2 men on and blasted that home run of Leonel Campos. Campos, by the way, today reassigned to El Paso, and Kevin Quackenbush returns to the Padres. Ground ball to first. That'll move the runner to third. Myers with the put out. And Franklin to third with 1 gone. Padres defense is brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Jabari Blash in right, Jankowski in center, and Bethencourt works like left field. Solarte there at third with Ramirez at short. Right side, Adam Rosales. And we've just seen Myers make the play at first with the catch in Norris handling Edwin Jackson. Evan Longoria and the Padres, though early in the game, initially come in. They're going to play tight. Longoria leads the team in RBIs with 70. There's a golden opportunity for 71, but he hits it right to Solarte. They throw it to the plate, and easy out is Franklin. He was out by 15 feet, didn't even slide.
That was really weird. Why not get caught in a pickle to try to have your guy go to second base?
Exactly.
Very, very odd. As soon as that ball was struck, he was off and running, and he did not stop. He's off and running.
You think he thought there were 2 outs?
Could have been.
Yeah, that is the play. The glove and the ball were there waiting for him for a long time. He could have stopped there and reversed his field, try to get in the rundown and get Longoria to second, but that's a break for the Padres. Brings up Brad Miller, the DH. Former Seattle Mariner, acquired by the Rays this last year. 91 miles an hour on the strike. Last 19 games, Miller has been hot. 7 home runs of his 22. Shift on. Rosales out in shallow right. 0-2.
Runner. Shallow right. And there's your right side of the infield. Alexei Ramirez all by himself over there at shortstop.
Connecting the infield dots. Kevin Cash, the youngest manager in the big leagues. Boy, that's a 55-footer. Good block by Norris. He's 5 months younger than the Padres manager, Andy Green. Both born in 1977. Green in July and Cash in December. Although we might say in this season, Andy Green has aged.
It'll do it to you.
Oh boy. 1-2. Line drive caught by Rosales. Oh, that is robbery. The shift, the ultimate takeaway base hit, as it was drilled by Miller, and Rosales out in shallow right, leaping to take a hit away from Miller. No score after one.
It was nice, you know. It's the first time on a big league field since April 4th, so it's been a long time for me, and you know, it's just good to get back out there. It's just a step in the right direction, you know. It's been a long rehab process, and you know, I'm just that much closer to getting back into the game. So I'm looking forward to you know, throwing a few more times off the bump, and then hopefully rehab start and getting back into action with the guys here.
Tyson Ross through the first live batting practice to teammates Adam Rosales and Nick Noonan, and he said everything went well. His shoulder feels fine. This is the first time he threw live batting practice since being put on the DL after just one start on opening day. Andy Green hoping that he can get back on the mound in a major league game sometimes this season, if nothing else just for peace of mind and his own confidence, knowing that he's healthy enough to pitch in a major league game, because he knows, Andy Green knows that is, that Tyson will be the anchor for next season's rotation.
Yeah, that was such a critical blow to the Padres season. Your top pitcher, top of the rotation in his opening game, the Padres opening game, coming down with a shoulder injury and out the entire year. But it looks as if progress is being made, and we might see Tyson pitch a couple of games in September. Jabari Blash 1 for 2, or 1 and 2 the count. And he takes just a little low, says plate umpire Reynolds. Pretty good pitch. Blash, Norris, and Rosales in the Padres second. No score. Low, good take. Boy, both those pitches could have been called a strike.
Talked to Jabbar before the game regarding the mouth guard. He said he got hit right in the soup coolers on the front left side, the front tooth area. No fractures, no loose teeth. He said it was really amazing. He required 8 stitches in the front of his lip on the left side, but he felt very lucky.
And he works opening walk here in the second inning. The second free ticket from Snell. Not happy with the calls of plate umpire Reynolds. Yeah, that's got a. Whew. I mean, did not chip a tooth.
Yeah, I know. He said it was amazing.
And so what happens often with players hit in the face and then going to that protective guard, they get so accustomed to it that they almost feel more comfortable wearing it even though they don't need to. Derek Norris hitting 189, a dozen home runs. Takes a strike. See if the Padres can take advantage of the leadoff walk here in the second. Infield set for 2. Foul back.
Well, he had the right idea on that swing, trying to pepper right center field.
Big hole between Morrison holding on the runner and the second baseman Franklin, who has swung over in double play position. Pops him up shallow and right. Souza with the catch, and there's one away. Time now for the Quicken Loans Rocket Arms, and we check the most strikeouts by pitchers in the American League. Yankees lead the way. The Houston staff is second, and the Rays with 977 strikeouts are third. And this man for Tampa Bay has contributed in 56+ innings. He struck out 58 batters.
Yeah, Snell falls under the category, one of those pitchers for the Rays. They're going to watch his innings this year. Started in the minor leagues and then called up in April.
Adam Rosales, the hitter. Shortstop last night, second base tonight. Snap throw again. Yeah, Mailey's not afraid to throw down there, even though the last time he tried to pick off the runner, it got through Morrison into right field.
Yeah, and even if he's not that effective, at least it keeps it in the mind of the team that's running the bases. Hey, he will throw behind the runner.
Lash has taken an extra step towards second base.
Doesn't have the best arm. He's thrown out only 21% of base runners. Major league average is 32-ish.
0-2.
Well, he's doing well in the first pitch strike category. Blake Snell, 7 of 8 for the young left-hander.
Rosales had 199 with 8 home runs. The 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Padres in the lineup tonight are all hitting under 200. Padres hoping to get some more production out of the bottom end of the order. In the dirt. Good stop. They checked with first base umpire Culbreth. He did not go. It's interesting, Snell realizing his potential, inspired by a father and a mother. He said, no drinking, no smoking, no complicated romantic relationships.
No fun.
No more late night video games.
No fun.
That's right. This has got to be his fun. This is his career. You don't hear young people make that kind of statement. 1-2. Rosales pops it up. First baseman Morrison down from the bag. And there's 2 away. Travis Jankowski hitting out of the 9-hole with the DH in effect. So in essence, it's a double leadoff hitter. Jankowski 9 and Ramirez 1.
Yeah, I had an interesting conversation with Travis in the hotel lobby today. I asked him, I said, hey, dude, first of all, I'm not a hitting coach, but I've noticed something about your swing. Do you feel you get a little loopy with pitches away trying to go the other way? He goes, you're exactly right. My barrel of my bat is falling. I work underneath it and it gets loopy. And that's why he works underneath a lot of things. So he was out early today hitting off the high tee. And he was working on some bunting as well.
Tries to bunt there.
I got to go to the ball yard early, and I've got a lot of work to do today, he said. So bunting work and also working off the high tee, chopping down on the baseball, over exaggerating, so he gets that feel of hitting the top half of the baseball.
And Andy Green worked with him before the Tampa Bay batting practice on his bunting technique. He didn't get time. That pitch counts. 0-2. Umpire does not have to give you time. So it's 0-2 to Jankowski with 2 outs. Runner at first.
Yeah, that's the prerogative of the umpire. He can grant time or not. And that time he elected to say to Snell, go ahead, pitch.
That loops foul. Lash still at first base here in the second. Foul tip, strike 3. Second strikeout for Blake Snell. To the bottom of the second. No score. Yeah, am I blue? You bet. Need some wins as Matt Duffy leads off the second. Duffy acquired from the San Francisco Giants before the trade deadline. Here's a look at the NL wild card. Currently Miami and St. Louis tied for that second spot, with the Dodgers having a 3.5 game lead. Pittsburgh, New York, Colorado, they can all entertain hopes, and Duffy lines one to center field. That's the first hit for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's had only 17 at bats prior to that swing, as Ray had an Achilles soreness, so he hasn't had a lot of duty here with the Rays.
I think Edwin Jackson broke his bat. Pitch up enough to just sail it out to center field. Duffy will gladly sacrifice that shillelagh.
Logan Morrison average down, typical home run total. He's usually a 20 home run man. Now these Rays quietly down in Florida are one of the top home run hitting teams in baseball. They're 7th in the major leagues out of 30 in hitting home runs, and they're ahead of their all-time pace with 154 so far this year. A couple last night, and a pace to hit 213. Off speed, a little low.
Well, the average time for a pitcher to kick and throw to the catcher at the big league level is anywhere from 1.35 to 1.4. So Rocco Baldelli is doing everything with that stopwatch to give the Rays an indication how quick he is to the plate.
Two and 0.
No, a catcher to second base is 2.0. So when you add everything up, you're talking 3.35 seconds. Pitcher to catcher to second base. So that runner at first to second is average 3 or 4 or better. So there's that one little instance in between. One little mistake can be the difference between safe and out.
And he misses way outside and low. 3-0. Hit a batter in the first inning to Jackson, and now with the leadoff man aboard on a single, falls behind Morrison. But we all know that Jackson, even though he might walk more than the average pitcher, he still can get you out and record something special, including a no-hitter. And he loses him on 4 pitches.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Steven Souza, he ultimately in that 3-corner trade that involved Will Myers and the Washington Nationals with Tampa Bay. If you would separate all the different moves, Souza comes to Tampa Bay and the Padres get Will Myers. Of course, there are other players involved, and the locals aren't all that pleased with the result. Souza has had an ordinary year, 243 average and 11 home runs, and you compare that with Myers, an all-star, 276 and 23 homers.
Yeah, kind of suspect in the outfield as well as far as defensively. One of the things the Rays have to look forward to in the future is corner outfielders that can play some defense.
Ball gets away from Norris, no advance.
But they traded offense to try to get some offense, and it just hasn't worked out for the Rays.
It worked out for the Washington Nationals because they wind up getting 2 of the Padres' top minor league prospects, in Trey Turner, who's made the big club, and Joe Ross as well. Ross is on the DL currently, younger brother of Tyson. Six straight balls thrown by Jackson. Boy, he's missing the mark. 7 in a row. Leadoff hit Duffy, a 4-pitch walk to Morrison, and now 3-0 to Souza. Solarte over. Veteran move just to break the rhythm here for Jackson. Encourage him to throw a couple of strikes. Give us a ground ball. We'll bail you out of this. There's a strike. 3-1. On top of his average 243, Souza has struck out far more than any other Ray, 126 times. Jackson knows that. A great spot to rally from 3-0 and strike him out.
Ooh, that's a break for Edwin.
Yeah, that's ball 4. Maybe.
Look, it depends on what the umpire would call right there, but I think I just saw Souza ask him if that was a strike, and the umpire shook his head affirmative on that.
Yeah, he doesn't feel so badly about that check swing foul. So 3-2. No one out. Duffy at second. Morrison at first for Tampa Bay.
Edwin shook off 4 times right there. And Derek Norris having to go through a series of signs with that runner on second.
High into the roof and foul off to the right.
It's tough to tell on TV regarding the roof here. It's slanted. Where we sit, it's higher than where it is in center field. So from the outside, it's slanted down. It's not a flat top, rough, big top. That's
right. Yeah. That's why there's so many different machinations involving where a ball hits. Is it fair? Is it foul? Is it playable? Is it a home run? And ball 4. The bases are loaded. No one out, and the base is full of Rays as we check our tools of the trade. Brought to you by Ram Trucks.
Well, something that Edwin Jackson needs to do here is work the corners, and he has proven before with the slider, getting the Pirates to swing and miss when he was ahead in the count. The fastball up and away. The key is, though, getting to 2 strikes, so they'll chase. That strike zone will expand so we can throw that slider off the plate.
Quick visit from Darren Bowlesley, the Padres pitching coach. So you can get an idea from the outside how.
Yeah, we sit here, and this is center field right here.
And just the covering of.
Looks like they ran out of stucco or something here to build right there. He says, "Oh, okay, well, we'll just put a roof on it."
Got some leftovers. You got the dish. Yeah, it's higher here than it is down to the right.
Yeah.
Well, a golden opportunity for the Rays presented on a single and a couple of walks. Here's Corey Dickerson, former Colorado Rocky, and he takes ball 1. 16 homers with a .222 batting average. Hit nearly 300 with Colorado last year. There's a strike. 1-1.
Good backdoor slider to even the count. That's so important. 2 of the first 3 pitches over for strikes here.
If the ball's hit to any of the infielders on the right side and Ramirez, they'll just try to turn a double play. If it's hit to Solarte, he would have a force at home plate, or could go around the horn. Boy, that was straight back, and when the foul ball comes directly back, that means the hitter was right on it, just got a little under it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dickerson strikes out more than 1 out of every 4 at bats. There's potential there as well. 1-2. Got him. That's a big strikeout. 1 away, and Luke Maile, the catcher, comes up.
Almost reminiscent of the tools of the trade we just saw. Working the corners with that slider. In this case, the corner down and in. Well, that ball starts off the plate and ends up inner third and has good tilt to it. And Dickerson swinging right over the top of that one.
25-year-old Maile. He and manager Andy Green have a university in common. He too went to the University of Kentucky. Came up for a cup of coffee in September last year. Takes strike 1. He's had just 54 at bats this year, and not a lot to show for it. A 167 average. Infield back looking for a possible double play to get out of this jam. Again, Jackson backs off. Didn't like the call from Norris, or at least wanted him to go through the signals again. Low. 1-1.
Hey, infielders diving right here because not a lot of speed on those base paths, especially at first and second. You can dive and you can go a short way at second base for a force out. That's the worst case. Prevent that ball from going to the outfield. Still get an out on the infield at a force.
Inside. So the next pitch will be his 40th. Only 4 outs on 40 pitches. one good ground ball. An infielder turned the double play, get out of the inning, and stay even here on game 2. Ground ball.
Fair pass Solarte into the corner. Dug out by Dickerson. 1 run, 2 runs. They're waving in another. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Back to third. He's safe.
Did he touch home plate?
3-0 is the score as Luke Maile clears the bases. He had 5 RBIs all year. He gets 3 on that one swing. Yeah, doesn't seem to be any protest at home plate. So Duffy from third, Morrison from second, and Souza from first. And the Rays enjoy a 3-0 lead.
Breaking ball catching too much of the plate and speeding up the bat of Maile. And Solarte playing off the line. He sneaks this one right in between the pillow and the third sacker.
Double, and he moves to third on the throw from left field.
Playing off the line. He sneaks this one right in between the pillow and the third.
Bethancourt with that strong arm of his throwing all the way on the fly to home plate.
Looks like he dragged his foot. I just never saw the umpire signal safe.
Very awkward slide.
It really was.
Now the infield has to come in. Still only 1 out. Leadoff hitter Franklin was hit by a pitch leading off the first inning. Hit him in the ankle. So those 2 walks become runs. One and 1. Solarte, Ramirez, Rosales, and Myers all on the edge of the carpet. Out in front with the breaking ball at 78.
Breaking ball's been working for Edwin Jackson. That one just caught too much of the plate to Maile. See if he throws another one here. Slider. Get it down and in.
Too far in. 2-2. There he goes. Strikes him out swinging for the second out.
There's the curveball. Good feel for that pitch.
So 2 outs. The infield can move back as Kiermaier steps up.
Does a good job of getting on top of this one, and the bigger spin, 12-6. The bigger break than the slider for the strikeout.
It takes away the opportunity to score a 4th run on an out. Kiermaier grounded to first in the first inning. Off speed for a strike. So that pinches you if you're Edwin Jackson, the number 9 hitter, batting 167, able to clean the bases with a double. Part of his own fault, 2 walks.
And that ball hit high in the air to right field. That goes Blash, and he's got to play.
Middle of the warning path. But on a single, 2 walks, and a bases clearing double, it's 3-0.
Yeah, I had an awesome time here. I enjoyed every second of it. You know, obviously 2013 was a special year, you know, being able to win that and also go to the playoffs. My first playoff experience was really, really awesome. You know, 2014 was tough, obviously with the injuries, but I enjoyed my time here. You know, I wish I could have done a lot more here and played here for a longer time, but that's the way the game works.
That's Will Myers commenting on the 2013 playoff season. He went 2 for 20 in the playoffs, but still great memories as they won the wild card against Cleveland. Line drive, and Ramirez has his second hit tonight. Over to cut it off as Kiermaier bobbles it, and then Ramirez will hold. Look at that throw. So Ramirez singled to open the game and drops another base hit into right center field for the Padres' only hits of Blake Snell. Will Myers, only 88 games in 2013, but won the American League Rookie of the Year award with those numbers. 293 with 13 homers and led all rookies, even though he only played half a season, with 53 RBIs and 36 extra base hits. Wrist problems then the next 2 years. Tampa Bay in 14 and the Padres in 15 hampered his numbers and his playing talent, but healthy this year and showing the kind of player he can be and become. He's only 25 now, remember. Lots ahead for this man from Charlotte, North Carolina. Padres try to climb back here, trailing 3-0 in the third. Little low, says plate umpire Reynolds. Myers fouled out to first in the first. He wears 4. Blake Snell on the mound wears 4. That's in there, according to Reynolds. Backing away from the plate, Myers appeared to be a bit inside.
Now, if I'm pitching to Will Myers, I'm going right back in there because Will's got to protect. We're going something soft away. Breaking ball here.
And that'll make it into the upper deck. Last night's attendance, the smallest of the season for the Padres, 10,417. As you look at Myers' career with the Rays, the 2 years, 13 and 14, and then with the Padres. Big difference in home runs and slugging percentage. And he strikes out.
She was protecting inside. Looks like that swing.
It's the 111th time he struck out. Leads the Padres.
Now, when Will has that one pitch called a strike that's off the plate, look at that. That's all upper body, because I think he's thinking he's going to try to come in there again. I got to be quick. All of a sudden, it's away. Now I got to protect out there. It might be a strike, and it's not the best Will Myers hack.
Solarte struck out the first time. Home runs in 2 of the last 3 games. And he drills that one to deep left field, but foul as it skids into the corner. Had that good sound. In general, and watching Jan as a Padre, has home run power from the right side, but it's the left side where he really can do some damage with a deep ball. Pitches from Snell have a lot of action, don't they? That one had Solarte in a couple of clutches. And
both the curveball and the slider, very effective pitches for the lefty.
There are his numbers against American League teams, 370.
You know, it's almost like you saw Smiley last night. Breaking balls down, they go upstairs for the fastball, and after that at bat, Will Myers having a chat with Alan Zinter, the hitting coach for the Padres.
And Reynolds has been tough on the low ball. It was a changeup, 2-1.
Pretty good changeup too. Even though he got squeezed, that's a pretty darn good pitch. Had good arm action on it.
Ground ball into left field. Padres have a couple of base runners. Ramirez stops at second. And Christian Bethancourt will come up, but one swing away from tying it up. Solid single for Solarte.
Peek inside the glove there. It almost looked like another changeup. Yeah, you can see Yan way out in front of it. Tops it, hits it sharply. So I got to keep the changeup down.
3 hits now for the Padres. Ramirez out there at second base with 2 singles, and now Solarte. Bethancourt walked his first at bat. Low and away. Consistently the fastball at 93 from Snell. Overhead shot of the leadoff Ramirez, and there's Solarte. Takes a lot of time from that stretch.
Yeah.
Snell
slowing it down.
Last night, Drew Smiley, he gets a ball and throws it.
Remember, Steven Matz did the same in New York.
Yeah, kind of spoiled us. Really great rhythm to the game. And the results for both were quite outstanding as well. Swing and a miss. Ball just off the plate.
Just a little bit of arm run from Snell, so that changeup setting up that fastball, making it look like 103. As Dick mentioned, 93. There you see the range. He's touched 94. And the off speed, the curveball at 75.
50 pitches. 1 out here in the 3rd. Edwin Jackson not pleased with that last inning. A couple of walks at the table for the 3-run double. Low, 2-1. Another pitch at 93. Two and one, the action pitch. Ramirez was not that far off the bag. Franklin sneaking in. He's playing near the bag with a modest shift on with Bethancourt, a pull hitter. Out of play. Another small crowd tonight, but there's a nice promotion here in Tampa Bay. If you buy a full adult ticket and the most reasonable price is $15, you can purchase two $2 tickets for kids. So for $19 you can come to a ball game here and bring 2 kids. He goes around, and that's it for Bethancourt. 4th strikeout for Snell. So he went after the high ball again, and Andy Green mentioning last night, we're just swinging too many balls out of the strike zone high, and here's another.
Even though he missed with location, he definitely goes on that one. He wants that down and away. It still works to the advantage of Snell.
Alex Dickerson, the DH, grounded to first in the 1st inning. 2 on, 2 out for the Padres, trailing 3-0. Ball to left center field. Kiermaier into the gap and makes the play. Padres lead 2, middle of the 3rd, 3-0 Tampa Bay. Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tampa Bay Rays, who have won 48 and lost 69 against the Padres. They've won 50, dropped 68. Tampa Bay's won their last 2 games. The Padres have dropped their last 3. And the Rays with an early 3-0 lead against Edwin Jackson bring up Longoria, Miller, and Duffy here in the 3rd. Longoria safe on a fielder's choice the first time. This is his 1,235th game as a Tampa Bay Ray. That ties Carl Crawford for most games played by anyone in this franchise history.
Yeah, and it goes without saying that Evan Longoria, the face of this organization, this franchise, and he wants to be a Ray for life. He signed through 2022. The club option for 23.
2-0. Southern Californian, a star at Cal State Long Beach. And he's just 30. I think that, yep, he's 30 years of age. That's a strike. Just on the outside edge.
You know, this day and age of guys jumping organizations is Chris Archer working the salad there.
We'll see him tomorrow night.
Fine starter for the Rays. Longoria wants to stay here.
Slices that one into the right field corner. Tough play for Blash. He can't get it. Longoria now can try for 3. And he'll make it on the relay. And the diving try by Blash was gallant, but it cost the Padres another base because once it got by him, then Longoria able to make it to 3rd rather easily. A leadoff triple.
Hey, great piece of hitting by the veteran Ray. That pitch was off the plate and taking it the other way nicely. And that's a triple all the way after the dive from Jabari Blash, slicing off the bat of Longoria towards that right field line.
So a chance to add to the 3-0 lead as Jackson has pitched in trouble every inning. Had 1 runner thrown out at the plate in the 1st inning. Miller lined out to second baseman Rosales, who was deep into the shift in right field. Made a nice leaping catch. Infield halfway. 0-1. Edwin Jackson's father, Edwin Sr., U.S. Army Sergeant First Class retired, is here to watch his son, just as he was here 6 years ago when he pitched that no-hitter.
Hey, what a fine young man, Edwin Jackson. A broadcaster's dream. You talk about an interview? I mean, it's like one question and he'll go for like 2 minutes. Thank you, Edwin.
And he's never too busy.
You know what he said? I took time out of his schedule yesterday to get some sound bites from him. And I said, hey, I just want to say thank you. We really appreciate your time. We know your time is valuable. He goes, hey, dude, life is too short. You know? And I thought that really was a nice thing to say.
Well, a man that
to help out.
Yeah, here's a guy who's pitched a no-hitter, has had some very successful seasons. Then he's had off years, so he's traded. Been with 11 different teams. He started for 9 of them. So he's come to appreciate the fact that, you know, sometimes he's not wanted, and you better be good enough so somebody wants to embrace you. He was cut by Miami. I mean, he was out there for anyone to take on waivers, and the Padres were lucky enough to be able to grab him. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Seems recently, you know, he's worked into some trouble, as you mentioned, Dick, but he's got a good feel for the breaking ball, the curveball and the slider lately.
Selected by the Dodgers initially as an outfielder, a 6th round pick, gosh, 15 years ago.
Slider down and in.
Got him. Miller gone. That's the 3rd strikeout. Longoria still perched at 3rd, 1 out.
Well, even though he missed a location, he wanted the ball down and in, but look where it ends up. It's almost like as if it's a backdoor slider, and it gets him anyway.
Duffy broken bat single to center field that set up the 3-run second inning for the Rays. Morrison walked and Souza walked to load the bases with no one out after Dickerson struck out. Young Luke Maile doubled into the left field corner to knock in all 3 runs. Infield tight. Inside, ball 1. Bethancourt, look how far off the line he is in left center field.
Yep.
Off speed, 1-1. So the outfield drastically playing Duffy as if he were a left-handed pull hitter.
Yeah, there's the line, Dick, you're talking about right there. How far that is from the line over there. Remember when we were in San Francisco? That's how they played him with center field right there with Matt Duffy. John Jay was playing way over in right center field at AT&T Park.
2-1 to Duffy. Matt Moore, the pitcher, went to San Francisco in the trade that brought Duffy here. Another Long Beach State product. Chopped. That's going to stay fair. That's going to stay fair. We watched in batting practice. That foul line is very level. It doesn't kick foul. And Duffy has an infield hit. Longoria had to stay at third, of course. Swinging bunt single for Duffy.
That's the frustrating part of it. You make a good pitch and the guy doesn't hit it on the screws.
Logan Morrison steps up. He walked and scored in the last inning. That's the 4th hit for the Rays. The Padres with 3. But the one big blow, the bases loaded double, 3-run double for Luke Maile. Well, first and third, so the Padres play not all the way back and not really halfway, but somewhere in between that. Looking for the double play chance. Line drive, fair ball into the other corner. Longoria jogs home easily from third. Here comes Duffy from first base, and it's 5-0, a double for Logan Morrison. Well, doubles have been more than productive for the Tampa Bay Rays. A 3-run double and now a 2-run double for Morrison.
So the mindset for Edwin Jackson is trying to work down to the zone to try to induce that double play. You can see that little slider didn't have a lot of depth to it, didn't have a lot of tilt, too much to the plate and up, and that spells double to the big left-handed hitter.
Duffy read this really well. Look, he's off and running as soon as that ball is struck, so he's able to make it all the way home from first base. And Longoria, of course, scoring easily from third. It's 5-0 here in the third. And the first time that Edwin Jackson's had a rough outing as a Padre. Steven Souza walked and scored the first time. Oh, just missed that way up into the roof. And it is spotted by Blash, and he makes the catch. And no advance. Morrison 2 away. It's almost scary when the ball goes up. Wires and catwalks and lights. Now, if that ball would have hit a catwalk or a wire, it's a live ball. And the onus is on the defensive player to make the play.
Yeah,
Dickerson.
There's a lot going on up there.
Isn't there? It's like a circus tent. 2 outs. Corey Dickerson struck out his first time. Morrison at second with 2 gone. speed outside. The Padres have caught the Tampa Bay Rays at the wrong time. They left Yankee Stadium Sunday with a 12-3 win. Come out slugging 8-2 last night. And they got a 5-0 lead tonight. Earlier in the season, it was a disastrous run of games where they just couldn't win anything. They went in a 27-game period before the All-Star game. They won 3 games. They were 3-24. And it just knocked them out of all hope, and they're just now recovering. Of course, they've got 2 players now, really 3 players back. Logan Morrison is back off the DL. Logan Forsythe is back. Kiermaier is back. He missed about 60 games. And they picked up Duffy, so really 4 players. It's a different lineup. Jammed him 2-1. It's not a bad lineup, Bart Grant.
Yeah, there's some potential there. And you know what I think of, Dick, when I look at this lineup and playing at this venue? It's tough. It's tough to play in front of a small, quiet crowd. Players feed off that energy of a packed place, and these Rays, they don't get to experience that.
Yeah, just think of Matt Duffy playing in San Francisco.
Exactly.
Sell out every game.
180-degree turnaround.
Just
you bet.
The buzz of the crowd there. I mean, it pushes you to play better. Here, it's kind of a friendly little gathering. They have even tarped off some of the parts of the stadium because they can't sell the tickets. They're in left field, all tarped out. A called strike, 2-2. Dickerson didn't like it, and for good reason. So it's a long way to drive from Tampa Bay to see a losing team. St. Petersburg doesn't have a great population. In the dirt, the one good thing going for the future of Tampa Bay, Dwayne Stats, the play-by-play announcer, one of the best, says they get terrific television numbers in Orlando. So if you combine Orlando and Tampa, now you've got a major fan base.
And where we are in St. Petersburg, I think there's just surrounded by a lot of water, so people have to travel a long way to come see a ball game.
Yeah. Fouled away. So sometimes a pitcher, would you agree? Sometimes a pitcher takes as much as 30 seconds to deliver the ball.
Sure.
We've seen it quite a lot.
Absolutely.
Usain Bolt has won 3 gold medals in 3 different Olympics, and you total all his time 29 seconds.
No kidding.
To win 3 gold medals.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Ball 4 to Dickerson. Inning continues here to third, and here's Luke Maile, who got the Rays on the board his last at bat with a double into the left field corner, cleaning the bases.
And the pitch that was thrown, it was a pitch down and in. Looked like a breaking ball that was kind of flat. Solarte playing off the line, and everybody was off and running.
Bethencourt with that strong arm fires it all the way from left field on the fly. But all 3 men scored. Duffy from third, Morrison from second, and Souza all the way from first base. So 2 on, 2 out for Maile. Chance to do more damage for the kid. Played very little. Kentucky Wildcat with only 9 hits coming in. 9 for 54. Carlos Villanueva starting to loosen up in the Padre pen. Down left field corner. The pens are on the field of play, foul territory. There for everyone to see. The long man all season long, Villanueva. Two and 1. It's been a struggle for Edwin Jackson after the brilliant outing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't have that feel. I can't speak for Edwin right now, but You get 33 starts in the season. How many times are you going to feel great? Maybe 8 to 10, 12. You got to find that groove. Sometimes you feel awful in the bullpen and do well in a game, and then vice versa. Sometimes it's a crapshoot.
Out of play. Off the top of the press box. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, and a line drive base hit. Maley's going to get another RBI, and it's 6-0. 4 RBIs tonight for the young catcher. He had 5 in the entire season coming into play tonight. Well, that is his best ever game with the bat.
Hey, another pitch in. Remember the double we saw down the line that was in, and Maley turned on it. That two-seamer, he turns on it and punches it to center field.
Morrison scores and Dickerson scampers over to third, so runners at the corners, and to the top of the lineup, Nick Franklin. Never a good thing when the leadoff man bats 3 times in the first 3 innings. Franklin has been hit by a pitch and struck out. Soft liner into right field. That'll bring in another run. Dickerson scores. Holding at second is Maley. 7-0. Didn't hit it hard, but enough direction to get it away from second baseman Rosales.
You know, he got jammed. Got jammed with a breaking ball, but it was up a little bit. And with the way Rosales was playing on the pull side, giving the old college try, trying to stop it and get it, but not the case.
So they batted around. The 9th man to hit is Kevin Kiermaier. He is grounded to third and sent a long out to the warning path and right. 29th pitch of the inning coming from Edwin Jackson. It's a strike. 7 runs, 7 hits for the Rays. 20 runs scored in the last 2 games, and now they're adding at least an 8, or at least a 7. Ground ball foul. So Kiermaier in the hole, 0-2. Duffy with a pair of hits and has scored twice, and the big blows, 2 from Maley, a 3-run double and an RBI single. Could have been strike 3.
Looked like a little cutter up.
What a turnabout for Jackson. The last time he was here and won a game was 6 years ago, and he threw a no-hitter. Another broken bat. That's a looper that Ramirez is able to corral, and the inning comes to an end. But 9 men come to the bat, and 4 of them score. It's 7-0.
Congratulations from the Padres to Parkview Little League. They've just qualified for the Little League World Series. They beat Mount Ridge of Nevada for the Western title, and here they are celebrating. Parkview of Chula Vista. Remember, 7 years ago they were the Little League champions. And boy, the South Bay has produced some terrific talent. That's the 4th South Bay team in 8 years to go to the Little League World Series. So hearty congratulations. They'll play Iowa on Friday, the Midwest champion. And all of us here in San Diego pulling for the kids from Parkview, Chula Vista.
That's great. Have the time of their lives.
Doesn't happen by accident.
No.
There's a lot of good coaching going on down there, and it's become the thing to do if you're a young guy or gal, for that matter, to play Little League ball. You're going to be playing with some of the best in the country, and that's been proven once again. Tim Beckham comes in at shortstop for Duffy. I don't know if Duffy aggravated that Achilles, but it gives the young man a chance to play tonight. Beckham at short. And Blake Snell with a comfortable 7-run lead faces Blash, Norris, and Rosales. 2 strikes on Blash. He walked the first time, and he strikes out this time on 3 pitches. 5 strikeouts for Snell. And Derek Norris is the hitter. Fly to right his first time.
Number 3, Derek Norris.
That fastball of Snell's has a natural sail away from the right-handed hitter.
Yeah, it does. It has a little bit of arm side tail to it. Not really a sinker type action. It's still very effective if you mix in that off-speed stuff. And he's at the point now to where, you know, he can just, if he locates the fastball, flip up a breaking ball every now and then. Comfortable lead.
Walked 2, allowed 3 singles, but no runs, and he struck out 5.
Game break coming up. Orioles at Red Sox.
Well, there they go. Toronto, Baltimore, Boston. They're all neck and neck, eyeball to eyeball there in the American League East. How do you separate those 3? That's going to come down to the wire. We're finally going to see Boston. We got to wait till next month. September they'll be in. In fact, the Red Sox will be here on September 5, 6, and 7 at Petco. You want to make your arrangements for that. Down on the farm, Austin Hedges, these are just recent games. Hedges is hitting much better than .317 overall, but continues to really be a different hitter. Josh Naylor, he was part of the Cashner trade in Miami. He's hitting .325 with a couple of home runs in the last 10 games. And Cal Quantrill, the #1 draft pick of the Padres, the right-handed pitcher from Stanford, hasn't allowed an earned run yet. Now, good news down on the farm.
Yeah.
Also, Chris Paddock, acquired in the Rodney trade with Miami. He has undergone successful Tommy John surgery. Rosales fouls it away. Norris with the 3rd walk allowed by Snell. Rosales popped up his first time and takes away 1 and 2. So we're going to see the Cubs in a week. They come in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next, and then the Red Sox early in September. Inside with a breaking ball. Ball hit well to center field. A line shot, a couple of hops out to Kiermaier. Norris will hold at second. 4th hit for the Padres. Couple men aboard here. Get something going in the 4th inning. Jankowski, hitting 9th, is the batter. Let's check the Cholula flamethrower tonight.
Well, Blake Snell on the hill, you know, he's been touching 93, 94, but what does he top out at? The kid who wears number 4, 95.
Yes.
And that's a little bit of mild chunky with that's salsa with a little bit of movement, but he's got some offense tonight. I understand he wears number 4. He wore that number in Little League, so he just likes the number.
Jankowski lines it to left field. That's going to fall for a base hit in front of Dickerson, and everyone moves up 90. The bases are loaded for the Padres. 1 out, top of the order, and Alexei Ramirez steps up. He's 2 for 2.
Oh, who doesn't love the grand slam? Well, Alexei Ramirez hits a home run last night. He comes up with the bases blowing a .08 for San Diego, and Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, will have a visit. And that's a nice job of hitting by Travis, working hard early before the game, trying to stay on top of the baseball, and it pays off for him there.
So Norris at third, Rosales at second. Jankowski fills the bases at first. Hickey taking plenty of time, so finally Jim Reynolds comes from behind the plate to hurry the process. You're allowed 30 seconds, and the clock out in center field shows that they just went a second or two over.
I think he should be charged the ball, the next hitter.
Well,
right?
Why have a clock if you're not going to enforce something?
Exactly.
What is that, to entertain us? Ramirez, 2 for 2. Was 1 for 4 with a home run last night. First ball strike as he went to the breaking ball. Now the Padres trailing 7-0. They need to get something out of this inning. Bases full. 1 out. Lays off, and it's low. 2 no strike. Waved off.
Well, after seeing the first 2 pitches, looks like Snell's going to try to keep the ball away from Alexei and give him the right side. Nothing they can turn on middle in.
He singled to left and singled to right his first 2 at bats. Outside and low.
3 pitches away.
A lot of pitches from Blake Snell. 1 out in the 4th. 70 tosses. Low and away again. 3-1. Well, you can feel the nervousness when this small crowd at Tropicana Field. You can feel those 3 guys that are kind of shivering and going, oh, down there. You heard them. It sounds like they're in our booth.
Yeah. Got to watch what you say in a crowd like tonight. I want to see the big boy get up there, Will Myers, with the bases loaded.
3 balls and a strike to Ramirez. And ball 4. That'll knock in the first run of the game and give Ramirez an RBI as Norris jogs in. He walked to start this go round. 4 straight runners reach. A couple of singles, and now the bases loaded walk. Ramirez, his 39th RBI.
And the 3rd time through against Snell, the proof is in the pudding. 3.02 average for the opponents against the young left-hander.
Will Myers is fouled out and struck out. Padre over every pillow with 1 up. After walking a man, he gets a call there. And a good hitter with the bases full. 5 for 11 this year. That's a little too far outside. 1-1. Jan Solarte to follow. Rosales at third. Jankowski at second. Ramirez with the bases loaded walk at first. It's 7-1. 2-1, and Snell is struggling here. A couple of walks, a couple of singles. Even on his follow through, he doesn't look very sure of himself. Boy, this is the action pitch. Snell needs to throw a strike, and Myers sitting on 2-1 wants to drive it.
Yeah, just listen to this crowd.
Swung right through that high fastball. I would guess he's going to get another one up there.
Well, Erasmo Ramirez is warming up in the Rays pen.
Crowd is getting raucous.
2-2.
Myers' protective swing. He'll get another chance. Padres trying to come back from a 7-0 deficit. They've got one in and 3 men aboard with one out. Plenty of time. It's only the 4th.
Let's see if they go first sign after 2. Well, there was no 2, so have to see what this pitch is. Breaking ball in.
And another foul. That's going to make it just into the first row or so.
You know, he touched 95. That was a fastball. He tried to get up and into Will Myers. A little more stick him there.
Club leader in runs, hits, doubles, walks, homers, RBIs. All 3 runners are ready to go. This is very deliberate, Snell. He was fooled on the pitch, but it was high. 3-2. No place to put him. He's already walked 1 run in. And that'll sail into the crowd down the right field side. Near the Rays bullpen.
A heavy workload for Snell this inning. This is the 26th pitch coming right here. Call a neighbor, call a friend. Something good might happen. And you see the workload. High in the first and high here in the 4th.
Started with last striking out, then a walk to Norris, singles by Rosales and Jankowski to load him up, and a bases loaded walk to Ramirez. Now 3-2 to Myers. And he strikes him out. Second time, Myers has gone down swinging. Go 2 away.
Well, I'm sure Blake Snell was watching last night's game, of course, with Smiley out there mound. How did he get a lot of Padre hitters out? High fastball. And that was the high heater right there.
Jan Solarte then. It's up to him with 2 outs.
Look where he wants it. He wanted it down and away, but he got away with it up.
Solarte. Runners in scoring position, a .347 hitter. A strikeout and a single tonight. Good swing. Fouls it back. Doesn't get a lot of publicity for driving in runs, but Solarte with 51 knocked in this year. He's had a good year. He's their top hitter in average, .287.
Yeah, with the time that he was spent on the DL, right? That's those are pretty good numbers.
With the bases loaded, .450.
I'd like to see a 1 right where that 0 is.
Grandmaster, no?
Yep.
Another foul. He just rearing back and throwing high fastballs.
Yeah, going up the ladder. You bet.
Well, the Padres couldn't ask for more. The bases loaded with their two top run producers coming up, Myers and Solarte. But Snell's come up with the right stuff to get Myers, and now is ahead of Solarte 2 strikes. And way out in front of that slow breaking ball, but he stays alive. And should he keep it going, Christian Bethancourt, the cleanup hitter, on deck. Yeah, Myers so desperately wants to do something big on his return to Tampa Bay, but it just hasn't happened. 1 for 7, with the one being a single, and he struck out 3 times. He held back, and that should have been called strike 3.
See Maile behind home plate. He was patting his glove on the ground, saying, "Get it down there. If you bounce it, I'll block it, but get it down there."
It was a good pitch.
Sure was.
Solarte still alive, 1-2.
It's the curveball. Look at that 12-6 rotation. That's a great shot.
Ball is caught low, so it looked low. And he strikes out Solarte. Guess what? High fastball again. That's happened throughout the series. The Padres continue to chase the ball upstairs, and they leave the bases loaded. Golden opportunity produces 1 run. All right, thank you, gentlemen. The Padres threatened there in that top of the 4th inning, but left the bases loaded. They've stranded 8 men in 4 innings, and it's Tampa Bay still in control, 7-1. Jackson back out to pitch, and his first pitch is driven deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is foul. Longoria just misses after he tripled the last time leading off, and then 9 men came to bat in the 3rd. 4 of them scored. That's the 162 landing where he hit the home run to get the Rays in the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Yeah, out in front of it just a little bit.
Oh, that almost picked up yellow paint. Just missed the foul pole. Come on, using the body language to help himself out.
What the Carlton Fisk 1975 World Series is going on? Different result. I remember I was in the 7th grade when I saw that. My dad let me stay up and watch that game.
I think every baseball fan can remember exactly where they were.
I know exactly where I was.
I can too. I was with Steve Bailey, who was the producer of KMPC Radio, the Angel producer, at his house. We're rooting for the Red Sox. Nice stop. Solarte, long throw, and they take a base hit away from Longoria.
Nice play, Yan Solarte. That's a big league play. Taking extra bases so the Rays can't add on. Diving, plenty of time, and then the over-the-top high three-quarter strike. When we talk about pitchers throwing strikes on the mound, how about way over beyond third base?
Hangs a rope across, gets him by 2 strides. A check of our top tier player profile brought to you by Arco. Brad Miller, American League leaders, most RBIs in this month of August, has 13. Ryan Dozier of Minnesota leading the way. I don't know if we've updated Mookie Betts, but didn't he get a 3-run homer tonight? Didn't I hear that correctly from the guys back in the studio?
27 now, yep.
So he's now the leader in August. That ball is drilled to center field, way back. Jankowski can't do anything about it. And another home run. Brad Miller, number 23. And the Rays get the run back immediately. 8-1. $155 homers for this Tampa Bay ball club. Number 7 in the big leagues.
Well, catching too much of the plate. Is it the fastball? Yep, it is.
That hurts, the sound alone. Batter now is Tim Beckham. He's hitting in Matt Duffy's spot. Came in when Duffy was substituted. We don't know why he left the game early. He's first ball hunting and sends it high up into the roof. Jankowski spots it and squeezes it for the second out.
See Jabari Blash there? When we talked to Andy Green before this series, the one thing he said for the outfielders to not take your eye off the ball, going back on the ball, but still you have to back up your center fielder and your corner outfielders. Jabari Blash was way over there just in case. Watch Jabari. He's going to go way over here just in case Travis Jankowski might lose that ball. Travis Jankowski says, hey, it's all cool, dude. I got it. But thanks for backing me up. Good to see you.
Logan Morrison walked and scored, doubled into and scored. Rays now with 28 runs in the last 2.5 games. Scored 8 last night in the 8-2 win. 12 in New York to win 12-3 Sunday. Looking for a win that will square away their record 15-15 since the All-Star break. Popped out back toward us. Morrison returned to the active roster last night. He had a forearm injury. Despite the score, Jackson says, give me the ball. Try to eat up the innings for you.
No question about it.
Foul.
And with the you know, the DH in order, you don't have to pitch or pinch hit for the pitcher. So you're absolutely right, Dick. I can just see Edwin Jackson say, hey, I'm good for about 110 pitches. If you want to leave me out there, save the bullpen. And there you see the workload heavy in the second and the third.
Ball 2-2. Rays got this man, Norson, and Brad Miller in a trade last winter with Seattle. Gave up Danny Farquhar, or they received Farquhar as well. Rays gave up 3 lesser-known players, minor league. It's a pretty good acquisition to get Miller. He's now hit 23 homers, and Morrison's added 10. Tampa Bay franchise struggles with the environment, with the stadium. It's far from the best, if not the worst. But you got to give them high marks for through the years. They've done a terrific job of putting a good team on the field. Their scouting department has obviously been outstanding. That ball drilled to left center. Jankowski challenged, and it's off the top of the wall. Into second goes Morrison with his second double of the game. Two out, two bagger, and that'll bring up Steven Souza. Bullpen is quiet for the Padres.
You know, I've heard stories through the years of baseball to where pitchers in a situation like this, and I'm not speaking for Edwin Jackson, but we mentioned it earlier, to where he's the type of personality and he can throw you a lot of pitches and innings, to where pitchers have gone up to the manager and say, hey, I know our situation. We've got a long road trip. We're in the middle of 16 in a row. Let me go out there and wear one for the team. Hey, if I hold them, I hold them. If they get a couple more, they get a couple more. And as I mentioned that, there is action in the bullpen. Villanueva up again.
Souza has walked and scored and fly to right. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. And the Rays with an 8-1 lead.
There was a game back in the day when Greg Maddux was on the club, and the game prior to Greg starting, I mean, the Padres bullpen just got worn out. I mean, they were just spent, taxed. And Greg was pitching in Arizona against the Diamondbacks, and he gave it up in the 1st inning. And he told Buddy Black, he goes, dude, you are not taking the ball out of my hand. I'm taking one for the team. I'm going to see how far I can go. And he went like 7 innings. Turned it around. Yeah.
What that does for your entire, not only the ball club, the bullpen,
sure,
the morale of your team.
Sure.
Blocked by Norris. 1-2.
I remember another situation when Will Cunane, that poor kid, his rookie year, he wore one in Chicago's Wrigley Field, gave up 10 earnings in like 3 innings, maybe fewer innings, but his ERA skyrocketed. But once again, earned the respect of his teammates in the club, taking one for the team, saving the bullpen.
Souza lines it to right. Lash going back and makes the catch on the warning track. But home run, Brad Miller, and it's now 8-1 Tampa Bay. Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg under the roof, and thank goodness we had the roof. Look at who's in attendance. Alex Miniak, the PA announcer at Petco Park.
Yeah, with his dad. His parents live here. He grew up in this area.
There's a drive to deep left field into the corner, and making the sliding catch is Dickerson. Oh my, what a play. Right at the foul pole as Bethancourt flirts with extra bases, but Dickerson makes a sensational catch.
That's one heck of a play by Corey Dickerson in left field. He's got a lot to contend with there. He's got to get there. Remember, we mentioned it. No warning track. So he breaks down just at the right time and then into the padding. It looks like the knee hits the padding. It looks like he is okay after all is said and done.
I think it would have been a fair ball. It's right on the line. Yes, it would have been a fair ball. Short distance down there at the 315. But another play goes the way of the Ray. Alex Dickerson has grounded out and flied to center. A relationship. Corey Dickerson in left field for the Rays, and Alex Dickerson at the plate. The Poway man, and he drives one, caught first baseman Morrison. So a couple of well hit balls by the Padres, and right to the gloves, and good plays made by the Rays defense.
And that's why this game of baseball will drive you nuts. It's a big old hang with him for Alex Dickerson, and nothing you can change there, Alex. Keep swinging.
Jabari Blash has walked and struck out. Strike one. Yeah, you put yourself in the shoes of the manager, Andy Green, and try to assimilate what you've seen. It's going to be tough for him because you know what he's thinking about that last inning. You got the bases loaded, two hitters that can really do big damage. We've already talked about don't chase the ball high, and they both struck out on pitches out of the strike zone high. I mean,
it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. But again, it's the manager. I mean, the frustration, and you know, fans feel the pain, but no one feels the hurt more than the manager of the team. And he's got to hold it all inside, play each game as a game. Tomorrow we got another chance. 2-2 to Blash. And speaking of tomorrow, we'll be on the air at 10 o'clock for the final game of the series and the road trip. Christian Friedrich will be on the mound for San Diego against Chris Archer. Although his record is 6-16, don't be fooled by that. He's still their ace. He's top of the rotation. Outside, 3-2. 7 strikeouts for Snell. As we said, he's been a strikeout per inning pitcher. Friedrich watching the action, doing his scouting work firsthand. Swing and a miss, and Blash has struck out for the second time, and that'll be 8 for Blake Snell. It's 8-1 Tampa Bay.
Moment in Padres history, brought to you by Geico. On this date, 1996, the Padres and Mets played the first major league game outside the U.S. and Canada in Mexico. Padres pitcher Fernando Villanueva, native of Mexico, opened the 3-game series, went 6 innings, and Steve Finley went deep as the Padres outscored the Mets 15-10. That game played in Mexico because the Republican National Convention of 1996 was being hosted in San Diego. So a historical moment. And Carlos Villanueva takes the mound. Our pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford.
Well, Carlos has got some work to do here to try to keep the Rays at 8 and maybe chew up some innings as well. Find himself a groove and get some good quick innings.
Dickerson will lead it off here in the 5th, and the catcher, young Luke Maley, who's knocked in 4 runs of the 8 scored, and then top of the order, Nick Franklin. Dickerson has struck out, walked, and scored. Out of play. So Edwin Jackson, 4 innings, 8 runs. They were all earned, 9 hits. He walked 2, both of them scored, hit 1, and struck out 3. He's walked 3 now, 2. 3 walks and 1 hit batsman. Two strikes on Dickerson. Pulls it to the first baseman Myers, and he'll do business himself. Unassisted put on. And here comes Luke Maley. Bases loaded. First time out. Rips one past Jan Solarte all the way into the left field corner, and that cleans him up. 3-0. And then came up again with a couple of men on in the 3rd and rifled a single to center field. Drove in his 4th run of the game. He had knocked in only 5 all season. 4 tonight. You never know. Gives him a chance to start a game. He hits 9th, and very productive night for the catcher. And that takes us to In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. And that goes to the chauffeur here, Luke Maley. He's in the driver's seat. His best ever major league game, 4 RBIs. And another base hit. 3 for 3. Send him to a higher league. 10 hits tonight for the Rays.
Well, it takes a special guy to be that backup catcher and have the right attitude, and you get a start once a week, whatever the case may be. And he's taking full advantage of it. You got to realize your role, accept that role, and be a good teammate. And take advantage of some pitches. He went down and got that slider from Carlos Villanueva. Good extension.
Nick Franklin, 1 for 3, an RBI single the last time. 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch his first time. So the report from the Rays clubhouse on Matt Duffy, he did indeed experience soreness in that Achilles that had him on the DL, and so lifted for Tim Beckham. Hopefully for Duffy and the Rays that is not a serious re-injury. One ball, one strike to Franklin.
Erasmo Ramirez heating up for the Rays. He's been up once already. Shouldn't take long for the right-hander.
Shift on. Line to right. Blash has to retreat, and he can't get there. That's out of here. Another home run. Rays have hit double figures as Franklin circles the bases, his 4th home run of the season. Well, that's a line drive, just wouldn't stop until it hit the blue seats and right.
Well, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. This time down and in. And Franklin drops the head. Not even a stride, just kind of picks up the heel, twists on the toe. Hands are back. And you hit a mistake.
14th home run offered by Villanueva in his 62 innings. Kiermaier hasn't joined the hitting party. He's 0 for 3. He had 3 hits last night. Pulled foul.
Oh, nice job by the ball boy down there protecting the catcher. You need a protector down there. Catcher's in the bullpen doing some catching. He's concentrating on catching pitches, so you need that guy down there to take care of the backside.
Well, you knew this road trip was not going to be easy. It was no picnic going to Pittsburgh, then to the New York Mets. You thought perhaps if you fared well, at least maybe 1, 2, or 3 of those first 2 series, then you come to a team with a worse record than you might, be able to clean up here and go home with a winning record. But it's not going to happen as the Padres start tonight 2 and 5 on the road trip.
Yeah, it's a tough gig. That's why they call it the big leagues. No guarantees. You got to play them. Let's see what other cliche I can throw out there. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains, but here you play.
Longoria has tripled in 3 trips and a hit taken away from him by Solarte at third the last time. Well, Blake Snell benefiting from plenty of support tonight. Works 5 innings. Apparently his night is through. As Erasmo Ramirez continues to throw in the bullpen. Two balls and a strike to the Rays third baseman. Weak wave and a miss. 2-2. You won't see Longoria take a swing like that very often. Rays have scored in every inning but the first and had a man thrown out at the plate in the first inning. 3 in the second, 4 in the third. Home run for Miller in the last inning, and now a 2-run homer for Franklin to make it 10-1. Full count. Pulled to the shift and through. Boy, you can't direct one any better than that between 2 infielders that are in the shift. They got them stacked up there, and that ball directly under both gloves. And Longoria has his second hit.
That's frustrating. As you mentioned, Dick, even when you've got the shift on, well, high breaking ball. Longoria out in front of it just a little bit and tops it.
Ramirez not there.
Yep.
Rosella's not there.
Through the windmill, through the clown's mouth, onto the green. Miniature golf course.
Brad Miller lined to second, struck out and homered to center. Home run number 23. Well, he comes up there swinging for the home run, doesn't he?
Going the Will Myers school of hitting. No batting gloves.
Don't see many. The feel of the bat with the bare hands. Strike 2.
Will likes to load up on the bottom hand with the tape around the knuckles and Sometimes guys will get blisters, calluses, and it's just to protect that hand a little bit. But nothing going on right here for Miller. Sans glove, sans tape.
Count stays at 2 strikes. A little walk around St. Petersburg this morning.
Nice.
St. Petersburg is actually named after St. Petersburg in Russia back in the late 1800s by a Russian who came here and really quite a genius. First hotel, first sawmill, the train to go across the state. High deep fly ball to center. Will it hold? Jankowski back and another homer. Another 2-run shot, and Miller's got a pair of blasts, and Villanueva's touched up again. That'll make it 12-1. Miller with a pair of home runs to lead the way. Back-to-back innings, and Franklin also with a home run, a 2-run shot. But 2 given up by Villanueva here in the inning. Sam Beckham replacing Duffy left the game with Achilles soreness. Beckham hitting .213 on the year with 5 home runs.
Oh, I've seen Carlos go out there and try to chew up some innings, and you know he'll be the first to admit he doesn't have the blazing fastball. 88, 89. He's got to hit his spots. And he tries to move back and forth, go up and down, and missing with the breaking ball, then going right back to it. That's the way he needs to pitch. Pitch backwards at times too. Fastball counts, pull the string, and he realizes he's got to stay out of the heart of the plate.
Beckham, a #1 draft pick of the Rays out of Griffin, Georgia. And he pulls that one deep, but that's going to hook foul. Interesting high school for Beckham, with a history of tremendous athletes. His basketball and baseball teammate was the Buccaneers running back Bobby Rainey. Griffin has produced Jeff Treadway, Hall of Famer Rayfield Wright in football, Willie Gault, Jesse Tuggle. Some really terrific players. Georgia's answer to Long Beach Poly.
Yeah, that's right. Good call.
Want to go find a school that's produced more than its share of, not just athletes, but professional athletes, Hall of Fame athletes. Polytechnic High School in Long Beach. And that strike 3 gets away from Norris, but they'll record the out at first base. It's 12-1.
As a team, sometimes it's found in the little details of the game, and in Travis's case, bunting should be a big part of his game. He hasn't done it enough this year for our liking, and there's times in the game when he needs to read the game better and recognize it's there. Now I need to execute it, but fundamentally he was having a lot of difficulty going to the first base side, and we kind of worked on a new technique today to kind of put him in a different position to see if he can excel that way.
Andy Green putting in the work on Travis Jankowski's bunt game earlier today, and this is not the first time that we've seen him with that hands-on approach, and he's very into not being territorial with his coaches. He said, when I put this coaching staff together, I'm not about being territorial. If you're a coach and you see something outside of the area of your expertise, bring it. I am all about just being collaborative and sort of letting that voice be heard. And he said, I welcome all of it. Even if it's not specific to the area of expertise, he encourages it. It's always nice to have another voice.
Well, it gives the fans a, thank you, Julia, insight into how hard the manager and the coaches work constantly trying to help each player be better. And as Green and the Padres get more talented athletes, and that's the whole plan. A.J. Preller, international signings and a terrific draft as those players develop, and with the kind of coaching that's set up here and Green's persistence for excellence, the future looks very bright, I think.
Yeah, and you know what, the one thing that sticks out for me, I like the idea, and you can see it firsthand, that all the coaches are on the same page. They got their hand in Andy's the guy, like Julie said. If a coach has got a suggestion or something regarding a different part of his expertise, he's all ears.
Erasmo Ramirez comes in as Snell works 5 innings and has benefited from that 12-1 lead. Norris takes low and away. He's walked, scored the only Padre run, fly to right, and Mike Matuk is taken over for Kiermaier in center field.
Lefty's hit pretty good, almost 300 against Ramirez.
Foul tip into the glove. Catcher Mealy, it's 3-2. There's Matuk, who came into the game last night as a pinch runner. Rosales to follow, and then Travis Jankowski in the Padres' 6th inning. Off the handle of the bat, a shallow fly, and there's one away. Left fielder Dickerson takes care of it, and it's time now for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. MLB news and notes. Trevor Cahill, as if the Cubs need another good pitcher, activated from the DL and immediately produces. Cubs win 4-0. Dansby Swanson, the #1 draft pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks, he has been called up by Atlanta. And Jhoulys Chacin also making news today. We'll get to Chacin. Rosales grounds out. There's 2 away. There, news on Chacin. He starts tonight against Seattle, and the news there is, of course, not Chacin so much as the Angels have lost 11 in a row. Jankowski singled his last time and hits this one to right field, shallow. Souza coming in, still coming, and makes the catch on a slide. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Ramirez. It's still 12-1. That's the Rays tank out in right center field here at Tropicana Field. And if somebody hits a ball and lands in there, there's a special prize that goes to a fan or fans.
Interesting creature, huh?
Aren't they? They're beautiful.
Yeah, you can put your hand in the water there, cop a feel.
Villanueva working in the second inning will face Morrison, Souza, and Dickerson. With the Rays in a romp leading 12-1. And Morrison a pair of doubles. He scored 2 and knocked in 2. 12 runs, 13 hits for the home team. 1 run, 5 hits for the Padres.
You ever felt one of those, Dick?
Never have. I've eaten one.
I went to really.
Oh, they're really good eating fish.
This Mr. Exotic over here.
I didn't know what it was. High fly ball. Morrison into the right field corner. Blast chasing and makes the play. A long out for Morrison.
So you've eaten Ray before?
Not Crow, but Ray.
Did it taste like chicken?
Crow does.
Really? Yeah. I've pet the Rays at the San Diego Zoo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very cool. Feels like just like you know, like a rubber wetsuit.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So do you say like nice doggy, like you say to
nice Ray?
They're not very nice tonight to the Padres.
Putting a stinger to him.
Souza has walked and scored. Long out to right.
Very, very cool.
Now that stinger can do some damage.
Looks like a stealth bomber, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think probably these, since they're in a petting pool, that they've been neutralized so that you don't injure some fans. Popped up, could be a play for Myers toward the bullpen, and makes the over-the-shoulder catch for the second out. You know, nature in so many ways has been the human's design for progress and future. Think about the airplane itself and how the study of birds and animals have gone into the design of the airplane. It's you can learn a lot by it.
How about those yahoos back in the Greek days when they put the feathers on their arms and they jumped off cliffs? Something's wrong. No thrust.
You're the kind of guy that would have tried it. Hey,
back to the drawing board for that guy, though. They jumped off the cliff, not so much.
You know, I would have quit as soon as that hot tar hit my pits. I mean, I would have said, no way. I'm not. Yeah, that's hot tar. Don't be putting no feathers on the hot tar in the pits.
That's a tough day in the big leagues right there.
Corey Dickerson, 0 for 2. He walked and scored. And he pulls this one toward the foul pole and right. And this one is gone. Home run number 4 for the Rays. The third given up by Villanueva. Dickerson's 17th of the season. So they've hit the unlucky 13.
See where Derek Norris's glove there? He wanted it down in a way. He wanted to backdoor the curveball, but he just yanked it a little bit down and in right into the swing path.
Yeah, you don't have to hit it very far down there. 322 at the pole. That was probably about 335. So 2 outs to Luke Maile, who has a brilliant night going 3 for 3 and 4 runs batted in. And it was his double with the bases loaded against Edwin Jackson back in the second that started this runaway for the Tampa Bay Rays. And they put a sting on the Padres tonight. Shallow fly in right. Rosales goes out from second to make the catch. Another home run, another run, 13-1.
For the Harris game summary, it all started in the second. The scoring with a bases loaded double off the bat of rookie catcher Luke Maile and a 3-0 early lead, and it didn't stop. Home run power. Brad Miller's first was a solo shot. Leadoff hitter Nick Franklin chips in with a 2-run homer. Miller comes up again with a man on, a 2-run shot. And in the last inning, Corey Dickerson clubs his 17th home run of the season. Part of the 13-run, 14-hit attack for the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. And there it is, Jackson, rough outing for him. Snell didn't impress that much, but he only gave up 1 run. Maile and Miller driving in 7 runs between them. That's our Heroes game summary. New pitcher is Ryan Garten. Ramirez works just 1 inning, and a 1-2-3 inning it was. And in the 7th, leadoff hitter Ramirez is 2 for 2 with a walk and drove in the only run, or forced in the only run, with a bases loaded walk. 2 singles and the 1 big inning potential in the 4th with the bases loaded, and starter Snell walked Ramirez to force in a run, but then with the bases jammed, he strikes out Myers and Solarte, and that was it.
Well, for Garten, we saw the numbers there: fastball, cutter, curveball, change. And one thing that Kevin Cashin is able to do is to spread out the bullpen with this comfortable 12-run lead. Get some guys some work.
Ramirez bounces it to his cohorted short, and Beckham throws him out, 1 away. That's now 8 men in a row retired. As we check on Mark Grant's, drum roll please, 2016 American League Awards. At this stage, these are your votes.
Well, yes, and I'll tell you why. Jose Altuve, this kid is unbelievable. 362 average, 19 home runs, 73 RBIs. His on-base percentage is .427. He's stolen 26 bags, 167 hits. He could have another 200 hit season.
No argument.
Zach Britton. Okay, I know relievers don't get a lot of love, but I'll tell you what. This kid, the way he's throwing the baseball right now for the Orioles closing, his numbers are absolutely sick.
That'll be a surprise, though, if he gets the Cy Young. But
yeah, it'll be a surprise. But I love my relievers, and I think they deserve. But because you know, in the American League, I think there's only 1 starter with a sub-3 ERA, and that's one of my reasons. By Zach.
Don't forget the DH over there. The ERAs are automatically higher than the National League.
Zach Britton's got a .54 ERA in 50 innings.
I like this Fulmer kid in Detroit.
Yeah, Fulmer, Rookie of the Year. He's having one heck of a year. And I like Terry Francona. No other reason. I just like the guy. I've known him for many years.
Hey, he's got his team in first place. That's a pretty good reason.
Yeah, that's why too. But no, he does a fine job wherever he goes. Won a world championship in Boston, and now in Cleveland, playing well for the Tribe.
Will Myers went for 7 a single in his return here to Tampa Bay. Struck out twice and fouled out tonight. And the count 1-2. And the fans, a few there may be here, even at the start, would like to see Myers strike out. Sails that one into the 3rd deck.
You got to call one of Fulmer's games, right? Detroit?
Yeah, when I went back to Detroit to call that one game with the Tigers and against Tampa Bay, in fact. It was his debut, and you could see he had terrific stuff. What an acquisition for the Tigers. He's become their best pitcher.
Yeah, he's 10-3. His ERA 2.25.
I think they got him from the Mets in the Cespedes deal. Am I correct there?
I'd have to check that. I think you're right.
So talking about Terry Francona. He's got his Indians 5 ahead of Detroit, 10 ahead of the world champion Royals, White Sox, and Minnesota. Another foul, Myers.
Cespedes now hurt with the Mets, as we mentioned when we were playing those New York Mets. Good trade so far for both teams.
1-2 to Myers, and he strikes out again on another pitch high out of the strike zone. Well, the Padres will go back and look at the video, and they'll see the opposing pitchers are abusing them by throwing it out of the strike zone high, and they're going after it.
A little cut fastball up in the zone. Absolutely right.
Yan Solarte turns it around, hits from the left side. He homered hitting left-handed last night. He struck out twice and singled. He too struck out with the bases loaded on a high fastball. Ten in a row now retired by Rays pitching. That loops foul. Yeah, interesting news about the Bill Walton statue. I was there back in May when they presented it at Ski Beach in San Diego. And Ron Fowler, a big fan of Bill's, as we all are. I think he's worked it out where they're going to be able to bring the statue to Petco Park for the rest of the season. And that'd be terrific.
Big fan of Bill.
I mean, he's a big fan of everything San Diego.
Yep.
I thought Ron put it in perspective in terms of the modern San Diego athletes, Junior Seau, Tony Gwynn, Bill Walton, that he deserves to have a statue at our beautiful ballpark. Pops him up off third and out of play. Just into the box seats with the shift on. There was no chance for Longoria to get all the way to that spot. And folks having a good time, eating their ice cream and scrambling for the souvenir. 2-2.
A big promotion here in St. Pete for the Tampa Rays. If the pitching staff collectively gets 10 strikeouts, everybody in attendance gets a free sub sandwich from a Wawa.
Oh, no wonder they're cheering, because they have 9 strikeouts tonight.
Hello, Kitty.
Up high, and he didn't chase. I don't quite get Tampa Bay Rays and a feline mascot, but a looper into right center field for a base hit, and that's a couple of hits for Solarte. Turns and holds. That breaks a string of 10 straight outs. Brings up Christian Bethancourt.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, it's a plump cat, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is. Matt Duffy's here too. Remember, he got taken out of the game with that sore Achilles.
Oh my. You know, on my walk today, I also went by the storied Al Lang Field.
Yes.
Here in St. Petersburg. It's about 1 mile from our hotel. And the history of that place, and as a spring training site, served as a spring training site for 8 different major league teams.
You know the one that sticks out for me, if I'm correct, St. Louis Cardinals?
Yes, yes. But the very first, going all the way back, Al Lang was the mayor of St. Petersburg, to 1914 with the St. Louis Browns.
Wow.
It's now, they've renovated the facility, and it's now the home of the soccer team, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And they left the door open, so I even walked in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
How'd it look?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. Kind of felt the history of baseball. There's some pictures of baseball stars that played there. 1-1 to Bethancourt, and another foul. There's the 10th strikeout, and the fans love that. Bring on the ice cream. Even for you. Be a cat, man. Have an ice cream. Get out of my seat while you're at. Oh, no.
Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by SeaWorld. Enter tonight's keyword pitcher on the Ways to Win page at foxsportssandiego.com. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. And the Rays trying to win the second game of this 3-game series with a solid 12-1 advantage, now 13-1 with a home run last inning by Corey Dickerson. And Villanueva's 3rd inning of work. And a pop fly back of home plate. Norris will watch that fall into the seats. Villanueva's given up 4 runs in his 2 innings, 3 home runs. Rosales moves from second base to third base. And Brett Wallace goes to first base for Will Myers. So Will Myers and Solardi batting in the top of the 7th inning, given the rest of the night off by Andy Green. Fly ball. Ramirez a long way to run, and he's called off, but the ball lands in front of Bethancourt. And cruising into second base is Nick Franklin. Well, that's with the shift on. Ramirez had to go a long way and was called off by Bethancourt. That goes a double. And even the Bloops are falling for extra bases for the Rays tonight. 3rd hit for Franklin.
Well, that's the part of the shift that might bite you. Okay, long run, as Dick mentioned. Ramirez now does Bethancourt. He's kind of like,
he kind of shied away.
Yeah. And that's his ball. If he can take charge, he's got to take charge and call him off. Now, did he lose track of it? We don't know that. Did he get a bad jump? Don't know.
And he's not a natural left fielder
Right.
yet. He kind of came to the ball looking at Ramirez, wondering if Ramirez was going to take charge, and he couldn't make it. Took bats for the first time in Kiermaier's spot. Check swing foul. And another foul. 13 runs on 15 hits for Tampa Bay. Scored in every inning but the first, and they had a man thrown out at home plate in the first inning. That ball, a line drive to Rosales, and he takes extra bases away from Matuk. You could hear that one whistle toward the left field corner, and Rosales makes a good reaction and play.
Remember Rosales on the shift earlier in shallow right field took away a line drive with a nice play. Another one right there. Nicely done.
Longoria, a single and a triple tonight, and a good play made by Solarte at third to take another hit away. He's 2 for 4, Longoria. You're too young to remember, but I can remember the day.
Me.
Well, that was 1948 this date. Babe Ruth died. I remember as a young fan that I think all of us were saddened. Here's the great Bambino was gone, even though we knew he was failing.
I remember hearing a recording of him at Yankee Stadium when he had throat cancer.
Raspy voice, yeah.
Very sad.
And also, 1977 on this date, Elvis Presley died. Seemed like just a couple of years ago. 1-2 now, the count to Longoria.
I was told that Elvis, in Vegas, he had the whole top. The Hilton was his hotel, right? That's where he performed. He had the whole top floor for he and his crew.
Why not?
He was the king.
That's right.
And he bought everybody Cadillacs.
Uh-oh. Longoria wants to be in the home run list. And he is. Number 27, a 2-run shot. Home run derby for the Tampa Bay Rays. That's the 4th of Villanueva.
Well, I hate to say it, but this there might be one of these games to where the emergency pitcher might come into play. We saw it earlier this year, but once again, Carlos just catching too much of the plate.
Well, Villanueva may be the emergency pitcher. And he hangs one right over the middle of the plate.
It's a slider that he didn't get out there in time. Out there enough, I should say.
So a bloop double, a line out to third, and another home run. And Miller looking for a 3-home run game. With that swing, he's homered the last 2 times. Hard to believe with this lineup that they have the record of 48 wins is all this year. But they're getting all their players back healthy, and looks as if they're going to have a winning record the rest of the way. Too late, but start building for next year. Players that have hit 3 in a game: Longoria, Melvin Upton, Longoria again, and Tony Gomes. Our Carl's Jr. star of the game is Brad Miller. First home run to center field. That just, you had to close your eyes. You knew that was gone by the sound. And he likes going up the middle. Another home run straight away with a man on this time, back to back. He lashes that one foul. Yeah, there was a day when a guy hit a couple home runs off you and then takes a big swing the next time up that some pitchers wouldn't like that. Sent a little message back.
You know, that's an interesting point. And the reason why, my philosophy on that is you should make better pitches. I think the only reason why you throw at guys is because they hurt your teammates or they show you guys up.
No, that's a good point.
And if a guy does hit a home run, you know, does he Cadillac it out? Does he show up the opposing pitcher? I've always been under the impression you got to make better pitches, and Carlos realizes that. He realizes he doesn't have the blazing fastball. He's got to be right on.
Miller flies out to left.
He's got to mix it up.
And that brings up Beckham for the 3rd time. He's 0 for 2.
And knowing Carlos, the one thing that a relief pitcher like him has to realize, and he's so good at, you got to forget about it and work it pitch by pitch, batter by batter. You can't be sulking. You can't be feeling sorry for yourself making a bad pitch, because he's trying to battle out there.
87 on the fastball as he paints the outside corner. Day game tomorrow at 10 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego to close out the 9-game road trip. Padres licking their wounds. Sure would help to come up with a victory in the final game of the road trip. Make that flight home a little shorter. There's no rest Thursday night. We get home late tomorrow night, and the D-backs are in there for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the Cubs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. A ball, 2 strikes, the count on Beckham. Unfortunately, knocked down with a glove or the hand and throws him out. That ball was on Villanueva. What reactions. Thank goodness that he was able to get the glove on it. He's okay. Scoreboard isn't. All right, thank you, Mike. Xavier Cedeno in for Tampa Bay to pitch the 8th inning. Left-hander faces Alex Dickerson, then Blash and Norris. Dickerson lined out to first the last time. He's 0 for 3. Padres have just 6 hits tonight, and the only run scored on a bases-loaded walk, with Ramirez forcing in the run back in the 4th inning. Cedeno acquired from the Dodgers for cash at the start of last year, and he gets a lot of work. 46 games this year, pitched in 61 last year. Had a good record, 4-1 with a 2.09 ERA last year.
Well, a lot of cut fastballs from Cedeno, along with a curveball. About 88. But once again, Kevin Cash, the manager for the Rays, spreading it out, giving some guys some work out of that pen.
Yeah, these big leads provide some luxury for the manager. Ball hanging. 2-2. The attendance tonight, 10,793. Includes some Padre fans, and loyal they are right to the very end. And Dickerson chases the ball outside in the dirt for another strikeout. 2-3 on the putout at first base.
Aztec football returns August 25th on Fox Sports San Diego, when NFL Hall of Famer and SDSU alum Marshall Falk hits the field with Donnell Pumphrey to talk about the season.
That's going to be good.
Absolutely. Breaking records and life in the NFL. Aztec football with Rocky Long returns August 25th on Fox Sports San Diego.
There was an article, I believe it was a USA Today, that ranked 5 or 6 teams that are going to be, not necessarily all the majors, but they included San Diego State as a team that might be able to get into the football playoffs at the end of the year. They're going to be that good.
I remember talking to Coach Long a couple of years ago. We had him on the air, and he said, you know what, with the way things work out with scheduling and stuff and the BCS and all that, they've got a pretty good chance with the talent they got coming in.
Pumphrey, just a little guy, but boy, he gets a hold and he's gone.
You think they should do it with the BCS type thing and you have a certain type of tournament?
Yeah, they're trying to do that.
Yeah.
In the dirt, 1-2 with Blash, who has walked and struck out twice. Cedeno striking out Dickerson. Let's see, 11 Padre to go down tonight for strikes. And make it 12. Lash caught looking as struck out 3 times. Derek Norris has flied out twice and walked. Scored the only Padre run in the 4th inning.
Danny Farquhar warming up for the Rays.
He was part of that trade with Seattle that produced Brad Miller, Logan Morrison, and Farquhar. It's a game that the Padres won't brood over. They've got to get back to the hotel, pack up, and right back to work tomorrow morning.
It's a grind.
1 o'clock game here, 10 o'clock in the morning back on the West Coast. Friedrich for the Padres, Chris Archer for the Tampa Bay Rays. So it won't get easier in terms of the pitching opponent. Ooh, right back through the box. I think that went through the legs of the pitcher. Cedeno, and a base hit for Derek Norris. Well struck. Did that one go through his wickets? It just missed his legs.
It happened so quickly, tough to tell. But we have the technology these days to see what they call a replay.
Replay?
Yeah, it's really cool. What they can do is in the
you see the same thing?
Yeah. See, here it is. Look at that. Yeah, we can see that the ball struck. Oh, right between the, hit right next to his right leg, and his left foot was up. Isn't that amazing?
That's television 101, right? Adam Rosales has one of the Padre hits. They have 7 total.
You were talking about technology earlier. How about that slow-mo camera we have? I mean, back in the day, remember the replays were so grainy and
yeah.
really couldn't see when the ball hit the glove.
You can see a knuckleball actually knuckle now, and you see all the spins of the ball. I like it very much, and I also, there's a part of me that says, and that is, I think it's created the whole.
It's changed the game.
Well, it's the challenge system, because we can slow it down and by a hair tell whether or not a runner is out or safe. And so that's created this whole system of challenging, trying to make this imperfect world perfect. But most of the people like it. And that ball gets away, and it'll allow Norris to go to second on the wild pitch. And a reminder that our coverage from Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg is brought to you in brilliant color by Sony, the leader of 4K Ultra HD. Chance for Rosales to pick up an RBI. Levels the count at 2-2. Scoreboard encouraging this crowd of 10,793 to make noise. Well prompted. Fouled at the plate.
You know, this place is almost reminiscent of the Olympic Stadium in Montreal.
Yeah, it is a little bit. And the Kingdom in Seattle.
Yeah. Very quiet up there at Olympic Stadium.
And yet there's all kinds of rumors floating that Montreal's going to get a franchise in the not too distant future. Fouled at the plate.
You can hear conversations down by home plate.
Now, here we go. Yeah. Another strikeout. Cedeno comes in and strikes out the side.
Padres, and as a reminder, Monday, take a seat around the table as Tony Gwynn Jr., Trevor Hoffman, Bruce Bochy, and many more remember the life and legacy of Tony Gwynn. They share more laughter and more tears on a special extended cut of 19 memories, a tribute to Tony Gwynn. Monday, Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego. You don't want to miss it.
Villanueva stays in for the bottom of the 8th inning, his 4th inning on the mound, and faces Logan Morrison, who grounds one into the shift, and they throw in time for the out. Well, it's a obligatory part of our coverage. The keys to the game brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, the first one is just against the lefty, Blake Snell. 5 innings, 5 hits. Remember, they faced Matz, they faced Smiley in last night's game. And keep flirting, Edwin Jackson. Well, kind of scuffled this afternoon. 4 innings pitched, 9 hits.
One out to Steven Souza. He takes a strike. Well, the 5 home runs hit tonight by Tampa Bay matches their season high. The 15 runs is the most they've scored all year in a game. Nick Noonan now at second base made that last play. 0-2 now to Souza. One and two. Well, let's hope that the Rays have used up their runs complement, and tomorrow Christian Friedrich will mow them down, and the Padres can escape with a win on the way home. Another drive that's aimed at the alley, but there's Bethancourt over to cut it off for the out. Sousa's gone. He was 0 for 4 tonight. And it's time now for the Bill Howe play of the game. Back in the 5th inning, Bethancourt drilled one down near the foul pole in left field, and Corey Dickerson takes on the barrier and makes a terrific catch. Backhand with a slide and into the wall, and maintains possession. Our Bill Howe play of the game. And here is Corey Dickerson. Has a home run, a solo shot, and a walk. Scored a couple of runs. One of the 5 home runs in the home run tying game for Tampa Bay this year. .89 on the fastball for a strike.
Ooh, the quick pitch.
And a ground ball to first. Wallace handles it, and for the first time tonight, the Rays are retired in order. On to the 9th.
And being positive. And The Padres owner Jimmy Jones told me that it's hard to be positive all the time when you're coaching because it's inherently negative. You're always looking at the bad and fixing things. So to remain positive, I mean, it's the most important thing to do, be prepared and try to keep the guys light and positive.
That was a sneak preview of tonight's bullpen edition of SD Live. Tonight, after Padres Live, right here on Fox Sports San Diego. Get an insight of the people we kind of talk about but don't really know. Doug Bachler right there. He's a good egg. And Griffin Benedict. And Hatch. You know, that's a pretty good trifecta right there. In fact, these guys, I'm going to give them some love. Because you know what? They do a lot of work, and they don't get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, they do not only work, but they do terrific things. And it's been typical of the Padres through the years. That bullpen isn't outstanding by accident, and it's been passed along by good coaches to the next set. As Danny Farquhar, the 5th pitcher used by the Tampa Bay skipper Kevin Cash, acquired in that Seattle deal, faces Jankowski. Travis batting in the 9th spot in the order tonight. A strikeout, a single, and a fly ball to right.
16th game for the right-hander, always working from the stretch. Fastball, changeup, curveball, cutter.
One ball, 2 strikes. Alexei Ramirez on deck, and then Will Myers. He's gone, so I believe will be Brett Wallace's spot to hit. And another strikeout. There were 2 in the 7th, 3 more in the 8th, and Jankowski leads off the 9th with the Padres' 14th strikeout of the game. Ramirez, Padres had a decent night, a couple of singles, a walk with the bases loaded to get the only run home, and he grounded to short. Hitting from the leadoff spot. Hit second last night and homered in the first inning, give the Padres an early 1-0 lead. The game is relentless. It can beat you up in a lot of ways. And it was very appropriate, the comments from Griffin about how you've got to, part of the coaching staff, you got to keep it positive. You got to pick up your team.
Hey, it's easy to quit, right? And you know what? You don't want guys like that on your team or your coaching staff.
Brett Wallace indeed is on deck, as you saw.
Hey, if it was easy, everybody would win every game. You know that's not going to happen. Even the good teams have their valleys during the course of a season.
And just before you throw the first pitch of the season, it's a game of failure. If you fail 7 out of 10 times as a hitter, you're going to be making a lot of money. You're a 300 hitter. So you have to deal with a lot of down times and embrace the good. And your teammates have to pick you up. That's where your clubhouse leadership is so important. I mean, the manager and the coaches can't do it all. You need guys in the clubhouse that'll go around and pick up their teammates.
Preparation. Andy Green is huge on it, and his coaching staff is as well. We get to witness it firsthand, and their main objective is to put these guys in a position to where they're best prepared, and they do that. Reports, information, everything.
Ground ball to short. Beckham across, throws low, and a nice pick by Morrison for the second out. And Brett Wallace will step up. And here's our matchup tomorrow. 10 o'clock is our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. Christian Friedrich seeks his 5th win of the year. Chris Archer, those numbers are uncharacteristic for Archer, who is 6-16. But he's pitched much better than that. Look at the strikeouts, 177 strikeouts already. Incredible stuff. One complaint we've heard here in Tampa Bay is that he tries to strike out everyone. Maybe that becomes a failure at times. Wallace batting for the first time in Will Myers' spot. Myers went 0 for 4. Struck out the last 3 times up. Wallace started last night, played first base, went 0 for 3. Padres down to their final strike. Well, no matter what, you know it's going to be an interesting post-game show. Mike and Mark will bring a lot of good information, insights, other scores for you, so stay tuned right after the final out. Padres Live, the post-game show, and it's 2-2. Yeah, sometimes when you really get hit hard by the opposing team, a lopsided defeat, sometimes those are healthy. You know, get it all out of the way, wash it clean, start anew. And another strikeout ends the game, and it's finally over. Rays 15, Padres 1. Here's Mike Pomerantz.